Okay, guys, welcome everyone. My name's Sam Cangelosi. I'm the VP of Operations for BAS, and Zainab's asked me to help out in this presentation, not only because I'm a huge advocate of CRM, but to understand that we at BAS actually eat what we sell, and we're very ingrained into the product. And I can't understand. I would never know how to use this product if we didn't use the tools internally. So we use it to track support. We use it to track our leads, opportunities, so on and so forth, and make sure that we're timely in providing responses back to our customers. So to that note, the session here is to discuss with our panelists how they use the system and what they could be doing differently, or how they've started using the system. So to that start, do you want to start with Zainab?
So maybe, Phil, if you don't mind, just introduce yourself and tell us how did you started with CRM?
Yeah, so I'm Philip Prey. I'm the manager of D'Angelo & Sons. We're an exterior roofing company from Hamilton, Ontario. We started about 6 years ago.
Yep.
With Zainab and Leo. We did a crawl, walk, run sort of approach to it. At first, we did our business development team, booking in leads. Then we progressed to our sales guys. I think a critical part of the sales guys, getting them training with people from BAS. It was a huge asset. And now we're running with sort of a full workflow all the way from capturing a lead to getting the project done.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hello.
Please,
Yeah. My name is Hikmet Demiryol. I am from WISAP Corporation. We are located in Mississauga, an organization. Here in our office, we have around 70 people. It's a global company. The way we started was we were kind of growing out of the primitive tools we are using as customer management. There were a lot of manual processes, and we wanted to eliminate. And we were in a way lucky because our headquarters, they did not impose any solution to us, so we were kind of flexible with what we were using. We were a long-time user of ACPAC systems, then Sage 300 with Switch 2, and it was just a logical transformation to add the CRM system as well. So far, we are very happy, and we are just continuing to add more features to it. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thanks. Sandra, our key person.
From where?
New Brunswick Medical Society.
So hi, everyone. I'm, as Zainab says, Sandra Hunter from the New Brunswick Medical Society. So I guess our story started back in about 2015. Our CEO at the time, unknown to us, we thought we had a perfect system. It was all paper-based, Excel, importing, exporting. The old Access database worked. We thought it worked perfect. Thankfully, he had bigger plans in mind for us. We did a large RFP across Canada, and we have 4 companies come in and present to us. Two had Sage products. But when BAS came in, they blew everything out of the water for us. It's like our biggest fear going into the RFP is we were 5 ladies who had done our jobs on the administrative side for many years. We thought nobody's going to know what, they're not going to get what we do. So the first thing that happened when BAS came in, we talked to them, tried to give them every scenario possible. And they repeated it back to us, so we thought, they get it. So that's what signed us up for that. We're not sales-driven. We're a membership-based organization. So our renewal process was streamlined from taking 6 weeks to now it takes us about 2 days to get ready to do our membership renewal. We administer several programs on behalf of the province of New Brunswick. So before COVID, we were due 700 claims, and that was considered a busy time. This year, during the months of January and February, we did 2,800 claims through the CRM system. So start to finish, the doctors can put claims in online. Some of them are working overnight in the ERs. They have access to it. We arrive at work in the morning, everything is there. We can push it through to payments. We do EFT. It's taken us from paper to where we are today. So that's our story.
Thank you, thank you. And before we introduce Les, I always remember when Sandra sent us a picture of a whole, I think, section of the office when it was full of files and all these filing cabinets. And I think we will ask Sandra later on to share with us where are these filing cabinets today. Les, it is for you, please.
Hi, my name's Les Hornfeld from Responsible Gambling Council. I'm the CFO at RGC. I've been with the organization just under 3 years, and one of my first mandates when I came on board, probably in the first 60 days, was to come up with a new financial software system and find a winning CRM system. That was my first couple goals. Quickly finding out that our system we were using on the finance side was a little archaic, I reached out to Sage Canada. They put me in touch with BAS, really on the financial side to get going. And then when I was hearing what the BAS could do on the financial side, I mentioned I had some CRM needs as well. And I was told that BAS also had CRM initiatives that could integrate with the Intact platform. I met up with Zainab, found out the expertise of BAS. And our organization has government funding here in the province, but we also deal with regulators and gambling operators throughout the world. And we deal with a lot of client contracts. And we really had no standardized format of how to track all these pending proposals and leads. Every business unit was running different Excel schedules, and it was a little bit of a hair pull situation when I was looking at the results. So when I started to hear about the BAS CRM system, I clearly laid out to Zainab that we needed to find a system that would let us run from leads to proposals to projects in one very streamlined approach in one standard database where we could drop all our documents, all our communications, and necessarily came up with a great solution using the CRM platform that Sage brought forward through BAS and Zainab and her team. I got to give a shout out to Leo and Andrew from her team, who are spectacular. And then recently we did another upgrade where we wanted to really track our clients and with respect to where they are in the responsible gambling sphere, if they're innovators, if they're growth-based, if they're mature RG-based organizations. And we were able to build out a questionnaire in one of our recent events. And based on how we imported the questionnaire, the BAS team built out logic, and necessarily on the front page of each of these clients, we now have a status of what type of RG-based organization they are, what we call corporate personas. So it's been a real win-win for our organization, and I'm sure we're just scratching the CRM platform right now. So a real shout out and thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you. Dennis from Belmont, okay.
So I'm Dennis Donovan. I'm from Belmont House. I'm the retired director of finance, but I'm still working with them on their CRM project. The CRM project probably started 7 years ago with a total automation of retirement living with a group of managers and employees who didn't really understand their own manual system. And so it was a real process trying to bring them up to the same level that Zainab and I were at in terms of what CRM could do for us. And we been using Sage 300 for years, so we knew of BAS well from that standpoint. And what we've ended up with is not where we started. What we've ended up with is a system that allows us to track all tenant services, do our billing directly into 300 by the click of a button, and an opportunity to track family interactions and tenant interactions through the communications. You know, they may be with us for 10, 15 years, and that piles up a lot of communications. And with staff turnovers and such, not everybody knows the history or may know what agreements were made with the family several years ago. And the system allows us to track those important emails, to flag them, and to make sure that they're in the system.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. One of the things, even at BAS, when I started with BAS 17 years ago, we started from an Excel system, right, Zainab? And then when Zainab came on board, we actually used CRM to integrate our billing system as well as tracking our sales opportunities and support. So one of the things that I remember with Zainab is she reminds me very quickly what I think I know versus what we should be doing things. So we may have something in mind, and this is what I want. and she'll come to me and say, well, don't give me the solution, give me the problem and let me solve it. So that's what Zainab brings to the table from a different perspective. But it's great to hear how you guys are using it, but one of the questions that I had was, how do you measure the benefits of using CRM in your business? So that's a key point to understand how you're actually tracking those benefits. So who wants to go first?
Well, we don't have an official tracking system of it, but the things that it did for us was it cut the paperwork that had to flow around the office that half the time got lost. We have statements that the seniors can understand, so they're basics, they're coded for our business and for our tenants and our residents. And you're dealing with people who are 87 years old who still think they can manage their finances. It simplified the billing structure in that it merges our Info POS system into 300, along with all our charges for rent, for services, and it pulls it all in with the click of one button at the beginning of the month. Generates that information directly into 300, generates the invoices and statements that need to go out, and flows into the EFT system. It also helps too, because there's been times when I've had to search for emails for somebody that I had a conversation with 5 years ago, and to try and find that email is somewhat difficult. You go through thousands of emails. And so the ability to attach that to that tenant record, even if it was from a family member, makes it really easy to find that information.
Excellent.
And the one thing too is it makes it really easy for the retirement staff, because they have a screen that comes up in front of them that has all the information about the rent, the unit they're in, their service package, and then it has all the options that can be purchased. And basically you mark those either with a tick, or if it's a care service that's measured in minutes, you have a drop-down box that says pick 15 minutes, pick 20 minutes. And then it automatically uses 300's AR inventory feature to do the billing.
Excellent. Making everything just streamlined and a lot easier to use. Excellent.
Yeah, I'd like to think that the best thing about having the CRM platform is it standardized a number of our processes. So necessarily when we're looking for certain data points, we go into the CRM system, and that's where we need to find the information. And it's always a bit of a challenge when you're moving into new software systems. People are hesitant to change. But when you realize that that's the way you need to move forward, and you format that process and you show the winning ways of what comes out on the back end, people quickly realize that the light bulb turns on and you don't have to question the data anymore. So that's really the most important thing about the CRM platform. It standardized the information for us. It lets us have valid data points. And the beauty is it also lets us expand where we've got change requirements as evolution of the platform gets used by more and more fingertips. People have different wants and needs for their departments, and we can quickly reach out to BAS and tweak those changes in fairly quick turnaround times.
Excellent.
So I guess for us, it would be the CRM is our source of truth. So within the office, we all have access to the same information, but even our physician members, they have eyes on the information we have for them as well. This feeds also into our accounting system. So anytime an address is changed, email address or anything like that, it feeds into all of our systems. And during the pandemic, even I guess prior to that, was using it for a communications tool. We push out the email addresses into MailChimp, so we were able to give physicians access from the Department of Health of what the new protocols were, what the vaccine schedules and things like that were going to be. So we became, we were able to flow information through the CRM to them.
For us, based on the introduction from Zainab, I think we were probably one of the most challenging customers for BAS. But
I will not comment on that.
yeah, well, we have in North America, we have one of the biggest benefits, and I think the improvement we had was with the CRM, we could connect our offices in North America much better. We improved the communication, we improved the flow of information within the CRM. We have 2 offices in the States, and 1 in Mexico and 1 in Canada. So CRM helped us a lot in streamlining the flow of information. Then and having the access to relevant information. We are working in a project-based environment, so in many cases, the information or the solutions we apply to one project can also be used for the others. So everyone could access to that information from, as I said, different offices, different salespeople, different service people we have. So that was the huge benefit. It was like a pool of knowledge, I would say. And the other thing is, of course, we had a lot of manual processes that we also integrated into CRM, and that reduced heavily the mistakes we had, the amount of time we spent to do even simple things like simple reporting. So that was the other thing that had a big improvement for us.
Excellent.
I would say for us at D'Angelo & Sons, there's some stuff that we can directly quantitatively measure for sure. One of them being our sales. So since we started using it, we've almost 10x'd our sales, which is great. Running a group of commissioned sales guys, it's pretty easy to tell them, hey, if you use CRM, you're going to make more money, and then they start using it. So everyone was liking that. Something that we can't directly measure, but it's all those small little efficiencies that lead us to do all the everyday reporting and looking at all the data that would now get us even more sales than before. So that's definitely helped us as well.
Excellent. Yeah, and for BAS, one of the things that we use to measure is we use a Net Promoter Score. So as we're doing support or projects, we like to poll our customers to ensure that we're keeping up to a level of support as well. So we're also track that information and where we could make improvements during our implementations, and we like our feedback because, again, we are very customer focused. So that's how we use it internally. But on that note, we have a lot of customers here that may not have CRM in place today. So one of the things that I'd like to find out is what are the lessons you've learned along the way, and maybe some advice that you could give back to the customer.
All right, I'll start. So a few lessons is don't be afraid to call Zainab all the time, and Leo, for sure. I'm trying to think some other lessons. Yeah, just it all comes down to the people that you're working with. So as long as you get your team on board with it, it's going to be a success. If you have a team that is resistant to change, you might have to change your team. That's what I'd say.
I think that is a very success factor over there.
Yeah, it's a huge success factor for sure. Yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah. I think for me, the biggest lesson, I would say maybe a couple of them. The first one is to define your business requirements really well. I would say if you think implementation will take 3 months, spend 6 months to define your requirements and generate a solution document, and then go back again and again and maybe redefine your business requirements. I think that's one of the lessons we learned. The other one is maybe to follow an agile approach rather than trying to make everything perfect. Do whatever you can. Like, I mean, if 80% is finished, is good, go with that. Think about the other 20% later, because probably the benefits you will get from the 80% you're implementing will far pass the 20%, the setbacks from the 20%. And yeah, those are the things I think I can say. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
I would say the same as what Sam had alluded to earlier was, don't always think that you know the answer. Quite often, we will try to take our manual process and put that directly into the CRM or an ERP automation. Trust the expertise that comes from BAS. Zainab, Leo, and Andrew, Barty, they know their stuff. So you can trust them. They bring a lot to the table.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to reiterate a couple points that the other panelists had said here. First of all, Change is scary and change is healthy. That's number one. Number two, have a small project management team on your side. You can have the right people coming in and telling you what they want, and you'll fill all these walls up. They want everything. They want your machine to be able to pop toast as well. You know what I mean? Your solution. So the 80-20 rule, I'm all in for, because 80% of something is better than 0% of nothing. Have a critical path, have a timeline, have a budget, and don't veer off it. Otherwise, you'll never go live. So you got to be a tough leader. You got to be a firm leader, but you also have to listen. And you need to have a really powerful, smart software consultant on the other side. That's why we're all here. We've got a great software partner in Bass. So those are kind of the key things, you know, from my experience.
Checks in the mail, Les.
For us, it was a very iterative process. As we went along and developed pieces of it, we would show it to the user. The user would then come back with some changes. And through that process, we got the user on board to buy into the system and to actually consider using it. There was resistance initially, even though they wanted the world, but there was resistance in moving off of their paper products and into the computer system. And at times we had to wait for them to catch up to us, where we give them an option and then we had to wait while they ran it through their brains to see how it would fit their processes.
Yeah, no, that's great. And again, for Bass, the same thing. It's a constantly evolving product. It's not something that we just start using. It's constantly evolving. But to Les's point, have a goal in mind, stick to the goal, stick to the plan, and then continue to add on. But as you move through those products or through that project, you'll find a lot of things. Well, maybe we can do this, and maybe we can do that. And these things start to pop up as we go along. But it's good to understand, well, are they wants, are they needs, and how do they fit into the current budget? And understand, do we have the facilities to get that done now, or is it something that we can put off until later? So yeah, Zainab.
I will mention, I want first of all to thank all of you for giving your experience with BAS, but I would say, thank you. But the most important fact why I think the project that we have done as a sample for the companies that we have done, why the project have been successful is because of you. Because you have informed and enforced the process for your team, and to have the new process in place and have it implemented, it's not because of what BAS has done, it's because of you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.